Questions for Jordan? Eric.
Jordan, after last week's, obviously, a win, how do you rate this performance? Obviously, a different level of opponent, but, they kept it close going into the fourth quarter. So just what you thought of the effort overall?
Yeah, I think that they're a great team. They did a lot of things schematically that kind of took us some time to get used to. But yeah, I think overall there's a lot of room to improve, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Things that we're going to need to improve looking on to conference play in week 4 going over to USC.
I guess building off that, what are those schematic things that would give you guys trouble? And then I wanted to ask specifically about the linebackers and coverage, what the sort of issues are there. It seems like there's been a few plays for guys who've been beating you guys. I know that's you guys are working on the offseason.
Yeah, I mean, there's just some things in the scheme of our things. Offense's game plan to kind of get their best players in space, maybe on some mismatches. But I think overall the linebackers did a good job today in coverage. There were some plays maybe we could have played tighter, had some busts in coverage. But I like our guys and how we play. I wouldn't see that as a flaw in the linebacker room at all.
Chris.
I wanted for both you guys to do. Rossi was pretty liberal today with his substitution. It seemed like a lot of guys got in early, a lot of guys got in. How does that benefit you guys, maybe not in the short term, but in the long term, to have those guys get those snaps with each other?
Well, first of all, it keeps kind of those starters fresh throughout the course of the game. And just looking long term into the season, when it's a long season, people get injured. We had some injuries today. Having those guys being able to get reps early on in the season, so in those bigger games, maybe we need those guys to have reps. They're ready to step up and they feel comfortable being out there. It's not their first time being thrown into a game in week 9 against a big opponent.
Like Jordan said, it's a long season. To have those guys that's out there playing, being able to stay healthy is the key for, a long season like this. So having guys that can come in and do their job as much as the next person is a huge thing for us.
Jack.
For both of you guys, held Brungard to 17 yards rushing today after 264 last week. But what about a couple of the big plays, especially the 66-yarder? What happened?
It's just stuff that we have to clean up, As a whole defense, we just need to play better. Honestly, we have to fit better. We have to do our job more, and I feel like that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I think communication kind of lacked today, especially on some of those big plays, which again is something that has to be and will be cleaned up going into next week.
And how did you stop Brungard the way you did, 17 yards?
Just playing it physical and tough. That's kind of our mantra as a defense. We knew that was a big guy for that program. He had rushed for a lot of yards his last 2 weeks, so we knew that was going to be a point of emphasis for that team, for him to kind of get him going, to get that team going. So that was kind of our game plan, just being physical at the point of attack and trying our best to eliminate him from the game.
Steven.
I want to know both of you guys, your reaction to Omarian's interception there. I don't know if you saw the replay or whatever on iPad, just what it took to make that play, how important it was at that time, and for him especially to make a big play for you guys the way he's started this year. What was your reaction to all that?
Yeah, I mentioned this on TV right after the game. I love seeing that guy flying around making plays. It excites me knowing the history that he's had in recent times. But it was a great play, especially when that kind of momentum was shifting a little bit. I can't remember if we had just punted the ball or turnover or what had happened, but it was big in that moment. Momentum was kind of shifting, and it was a big play that we needed right before half.
The offense was up here. They're talking about the next man up and how with all the injuries, guys have to step up. But is it really that easy? Is it something you think this group can respond with guys stepping into these roles?
It has to be that easy. You have to step up. That's kind of just the way it is. I got forced into that role my freshman year, which is just something that you learn to adapt to do. And if you can't do it, we'll find somebody else that can do it, that will step up. But it's definitely a learning process. A lot of guys got reps today. This is a great opportunity for those guys to learn and to grow and to know how to react in those situations.
It's for both you guys. Every game is different. Everyone experienced the big emotion of last week, the double overtime. How do you guys make the mental shift when you come into a different game, even earlier in the day? It's not the same type of situation, but it's still a hard-fought game. How do you guys make the mental shift for each game?
There is no mental shift. We treat every opponent exactly the same, no matter if it's Youngstown or Boston College or Big Ten play. We want to treat all of our games the same with the same mindset. And that's something that we're going to grow on. I know we kind of felt like we came out a little flat today, and it showed, but that's definitely a point that we want to improve on is realizing that it doesn't matter who we're playing. We're going to be competitive to the best of our abilities.
One game isn't bigger than the other. Like Jordan said, we game plan the same every week for each opponent. No opponent is bigger than the other, so we have to, keep that same mindset week in and week out.
Thank you.
Anything else for these guys?
For both of you guys, just on a lighter note, what's it like being in a game where you know that pretty much for 4 quarters you're going to be chasing this quarterback around?
Yeah, like we said, we kind of game planned it a little bit. It made you kind of worry from different things, some QB runs that you're not usually used to seeing, 4 downs from a team like that. So it's definitely something that we game planned, but I think defensively we did a good job of eliminating him from the game and getting him on the ground and not getting him as rolling as much as he's been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. As a defense, I feel like we did a great job containing him, as Jordan said. Going into a game like that, it's more stuff that you put into the game plan to try and, limit his, abilities. But I feel like we did a great job today.
Steven?
I'm wondering for both of you guys both been around, just seeing the guy get back, what did that mean for the defense? Did you hear his voice out there? And what did you see on his face or his body language just to be back out there on the field with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's great having him behind me. He was great with calls today. Saw him flying around on that one tackle that he had. He actually made me right. I messed up on that play. But he came down and he made me right. It was great having him on the field back making calls, flying around. I really love the guys on our back end and how they're an extension of us on the field as linebackers and their communication. So it was great seeing him back healthy, making tackles, making plays.
It was definitely great seeing him back there, like Jordan said, just making calls. Him flying around that tackle that he's talking about, I was chasing the quarterback on that play, and the guy he was right there, and made a great tackle, and I congratulated him, slapped him on the helmet. It was great seeing him back out there flying around again.
Could you tell what it meant to him to be back? Did you see anything pregame or in the game, just juice-wise, that made you feel like he's excited to be back out here, that type of stuff?
I mean, we've been seeing it since he knew that he was going to get the surgery, and when he got back, he's been anticipating this moment for a long time, but he's probably works harder than most of the people in that building, hence his injury, and getting back and being in walkthroughs and mirroring people and making sure that when he was back healthy, he'd be 100%. So you can tell from months ago what this moment meant to him, and it was rewarding as a defense to see him go out there and execute as well as he did today.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.